Scene script, have you ever wondered what would happen if you could travel back in time and change the course of history? Welcome to the captivating world of time travel, a concept that has stirred the imagination of thinkers, writers, and scientists alike for centuries. This fascinating idea of hopping between different points in time like stepping stones across a river has been a staple of science fiction and a dream of many who wish to revisit the past or glimpse the future. But as we delve deeper into the rabbit hole, we begin to encounter several mind-bending paradoxes, anomalies that challenge our understanding of reality and time itself. Take, for instance, the infamous grandfather paradox. The name alone might spark intrigue, but we won't spoil the suspense just yet. It's a popular example of the kind of conundrums time travel could potentially pose, and we'll delve into it later. For now, let's focus on the broader debate, one that has kept philosophers and physicists up at night, the question of whether altering the past could really change the future. If you could hop in a time machine right now, travel back to a pivotal moment in history, and tweak the outcome, would the world as we know it today be different? Would the course of human history take a detour, or would time in its mysterious ways find a way to right itself? The concept of altering the past to reshape the future is both tantalizing and terrifying. It opens up a Pandora's box of possibilities and dangers. It's like standing on the edge of a precipice with the entire panorama of history spread out before you, waiting for you to take that leap of faith. But what if we told you that changing the past might not be as simple as it seems? What if every action has an unexpected consequence? The journey into the paradox of time travel has only just begun, and it promises to be a ride like no other, so buckle up and prepare to have your mind blown. Imagine this, you invent a time machine and decide to travel back in time to meet your grandfather before your father was born. Let's delve into the heart of the grandfather paradox. You've gone back in time and you're meeting your young, sprightly grandfather, but say in the course of events you accidentally cause your grandfather's untimely demise. Now, this is where things start to get a little bit tricky. If your grandfather died before your father was born, your father would never have come into existence, and if your father was never born, then you couldn't possibly be here, right? But if you were never born, then who went back in time and caused your grandfather's death? This forms the crux of the grandfather paradox. It's a cyclical conundrum that loops back onto itself, creating a paradoxical scenario that defies logic and our understanding of cause and effect. We're dealing with an event, your grandfather's death. That has an effect, your non-existence, which eliminates the cause of the event. Essentially, the grandfather paradox poses a serious challenge to the concept of time travel. It presents an impossible situation, an inconsistency that seems to defy the fundamental laws of the universe. It's as if time itself is refusing to allow such a paradox to occur, protecting its own integrity. But what does this mean for our understanding of time? Does this paradox prove that time travel to the past is impossible, or does it merely expose the limitations of our comprehension, hinting at a much more complex and nuanced understanding of time and reality? This is where the grandfather paradox takes us, into a realm of mind-bending questions and thought-provoking speculations. It challenges us to rethink our understanding of time, causality, and the very nature of existence itself. This is the grandfather paradox, a classic example of the paradoxes that arise when we consider the possibility of time travel. Now, you might be wondering what would happen if the grandfather paradox occurred. Well, let's dive into the rabbit hole of theoretical possibilities. The grandfather paradox is a staple in time travel lore, a scenario where someone travels back in time and accidentally causes the death of their own grandfather, thereby preventing their own birth. It's a thought experiment that highlights the contradictions inherent in the concept of altering the past. One potential consequence of the grandfather paradox is the idea that it could cause a rift in the time-space continuum. Imagine time as a river, flowing steadily from the past to the future. Now, if you throw a big enough stone into that river, say by altering a significant event like your grandfather's survival, you might cause a ripple or a wave. In the context of time, this could mean a distortion of reality as we know it. Events could start unfolding in unpredictable ways, and the laws of physics might even start to behave erratically. It's a scenario straight out of a science fiction novel, isn't it? Another theory suggests the creation of an alternate timeline. In this case, the act of preventing your grandfather's survival would create a new, distinct timeline, where you exist independently of your original timeline. This would mean in this new timeline you were never born in the traditional sense, but you still exist because you've traveled from a different timeline. It's a concept that's been explored in numerous sci-fi movies and TV shows, and although it's purely speculative, it does provide a potential solution to the paradox. However, these are all just theories and conjectures. The truth is, we don't know for sure what would happen if the grandfather paradox were to occur. It's a question that's stumped scientists and philosophers alike, and it's likely to remain a mystery for the foreseeable future. No matter how we look at it, the grandfather paradox presents a mind-bending challenge to our understanding of time and reality. So, how do scientists and philosophers propose we resolve the grandfather paradox? Well, let's dive into a few of the most intriguing theories and solutions that have been put forward. First up, we have the multiverse theory. This concept suggests that our universe is not alone, but rather one of an infinite number of universes, each with its own unique set of laws and realities. Now apply this to our paradox. If you were to travel back in time and do the unthinkable, instead of altering your own timeline, you'd create a new separate universe where your grandfather never had children. Meanwhile, your original universe, where you exist, remains untouched. This neatly sidesteps the paradox, but opens up a host of other philosophical conundrums. Then there's the Novikov self-consistency principle. This principle argues that any action taken by a time traveler or any event that would cause a paradox simply cannot occur. In essence, the universe protects itself from paradoxes. So, if you were to try and change the past, something would always prevent you from doing so. You might miss your target, your gun might jam, you might even trip over a rock. The universe would, in essence, conspire to preserve its own consistency. And of course, there are those who propose that time travel is simply impossible, at least in the way we imagine it. They argue that the very existence of paradoxes like the grandfather paradox suggests that traveling back in time is a non-starter. Each of these theories and proposed solutions presents its own set of challenges and raises its own questions. They push the boundaries of our understanding and force us to think in new and exciting ways. While these theories provide fascinating potential solutions, the truth is, we're still far from understanding the complexities of time travel. Time travel, as we've seen, is a concept filled with paradoxes and unanswered questions. It's a mind-bending journey through the intricate labyrinths of science, philosophy, and the very nature of reality itself. Let's take a moment to recap what we've explored so far. We began our journey by defining the grandfather paradox. It's a concept that exists at the intersection of imagination and science, a thought experiment that asks, what would happen if you traveled back in time and prevented your grandfather from meeting your grandmother? The result, it seems, would be a paradox. You couldn't exist to go back in time if your grandfather never met your grandmother. This paradox then cascades into a series of potential repercussions. The fabric of time itself could shatter under the weight of such a contradiction. It's a scenario that stretches our understanding of cause and effect to its limits, forcing us to question the very nature of reality. But where there are questions, there are also theories. Some propose the existence of parallel universes or alternate timelines where every decision creates a new branching path. Others suggest that time might be self-correcting, that it would somehow prevent such a paradox from occurring in the first place. These theories are fascinating, but they remain just that, theories. They represent our best attempts at grappling with a concept that defies our everyday understanding of the world. The debate surrounding the grandfather paradox and time travel more broadly is ongoing. It's a puzzle that continues to perplex scientists and philosophers alike. It's a testament to our unyielding curiosity, our drive to understand the universe and our place within it. Whether or not time travel will ever be possible remains a mystery. But one thing is certain, it's a concept that continues to captivate and challenge us, leading us ever deeper into the fascinating realms of science and philosophy. Like and subscribe Amazed Info.